Hey everyone, and welcome to Gardens and Getaways. My name is Jamie. I'm a North Carolina gardener growing here in Zone 7B. So, how's it growing? Sounds like a silly question, but I get asked this question all the time. People, when they find out that I garden, they say, how are you growing it? What are you growing in? And the answer is, I do every type of garden that there is out there. I grow in metal raised beds, I grow in bags, I grow in buckets, I grow in ground. So I wanted to invite you along today to see how it's growing. I'm going to explain to you my pros, my cons, and why I do different plants different ways. So if that's something that you're interested in or you're just getting started gardening, I think this would be a great informative video just for you. So I've been gardening for about 10 years now. Our first garden at our old house, my husband had taken some logs, like some landscaping timbers, kind of built up a raised bed. We filled it with dirt. It worked really well. When we moved here, I had been watching these Vago raised beds. I've got 5 of them now down here. I absolutely love these raised beds. So I'll give you some pros and cons. I did do a whole video on 10 reasons why I love raised bed gardening. But with the Vago raised beds, the biggest con comes right away when you go to their website and look at the price. They are kind of expensive. It so happened that I would buy like 1 or 2 a year and kind of belt my way up to having a few of them. They're expensive getting started, and then they can be kind of expensive to fill. That's a lot of dirt that goes into these. However, once you get them up and going, they're going to last you for years. Some of these I've had for 5 years, and they look just as good as the day that I got them. They come in different colors. They're aesthetically pleasing. You're not having to bend over. They even sell some that are taller than this. They sell ones for your porch with legs on them. So it's a little bit more ergonomical. If you're older or have trouble bending over, you're not having to work the ground as hard. Also, since you're the one filling them, the quality of the soil that is in there is going to be top notch. You're not having to till it as much. You can control the watering. You can control the soil, which helps with pest pressure, and it helps with pressure from weeds and like grass and stuff coming through. So I absolutely love my raised beds, and I'll show you a couple of things that I have growing in them right now. So currently I have this beautiful cilantro that I've let go to seed just because I think these flowers are absolutely gorgeous. I've got some sugar snap peas growing over a trellis. That's another good thing about raised beds, but you can do it in any type of garden, is get some sort of a trellis system going. I've got spinach, beets, Cosmo flowers. I've got a ton of garlic. I've got bok choy, but you can run out of room. But overall, I absolutely love the raised beds. This is one of my oldest ones. It has dented a little bit where I mow around it and kind of bump it. But other than that, they've held up great. This one is one of my newest ones, and like I said, you can't really tell the difference. High quality, absolutely loved raised bed gardening. Which kind of brings me to another type of raised bed gardening that I do here. These are grow bags. I love these grow bags because they're very lightweight. I got them off Amazon, significantly cheaper than something like your metal raised bed. And it is good because it gives you good drainage. You can control the water in it. Now, you do have to water more frequently because they dry out. However, if you get a heavy rain, you're not going to have to worry about these beds flooding out. Because of the material that they are, the water's going to flow out. It's also really good for the roots because it allows some air pruning of whatever you're planting in it. For me and my grow bags this year, for most of them, I decided to plant potatoes in them because what I'm going to do when I get done is I'm just going to dump it out onto a tarp, get my potatoes out, save my soil, and then kind of give it a refresh, put the soil back in there and plant something else. So you have a ton of control with the soil. The other thing that I really enjoy about grow bags is this right here. When I'm getting ready to mow around my raised beds, I just pull these to the side and I don't even have to weed eat up against them. I can just mow, get them out of the way. If you like to fish, you can usually find just some good worms under there to go fishing with, or you can pick up these worms and throw them back in some of your other garden beds if you'd like. So these are the bag systems. Like I said, got these on Amazon. I've had these 2 years out here now. They seem to be doing really well. Now these potatoes right here, I have growing in a plastic bucket. This thing is very large. We drilled drainage holes in it. I'm not even really sure where it came from or what it was used for prior to planting, but it works great too. Another good thing about grow bags or container gardening is that you can do just that. You can contain things. So this is lemon balm. It's in the mint family and it will grow like crazy. It will take over your flower beds, take over your garden. So some things need to be in a container just for the sole purpose of they are going to take over. So right here in the grow bag, it seems to be loving it. It smells so good. Another container that I absolutely love to grow in is my green stalk. You may have seen these on YouTube in different places. It is a vertical tower planter, but just look at all the lettuce that I'm growing right here and this wonderful thyme. It loves it here. Herbs and leafy greens have really been good in my green stalk. That's what I've had the most success with. But if you think about how much room this would take up if I had it in a raised bed or in the ground all spread out, it would take a ton of room. Here we've got this little bitty space on the porch, so if you don't have a lot of space, you can still grow a garden. This is a wonderful container to grow in. It's got a watering system where you just put water right in here in the top and the water trickles down through all of the different layers. It can be expensive and pricey, kind of like the other raised beds that I have. However, this is going to last for years and years and years. When the soil gets kind of dried out or yucky at the end of the season, I will just dump that soil, give it a little refresh, put the same soil plus the refreshed amendments back in there. But you don't have weeds. This one is really great for pest pressure because if you've ever grown lettuce before, you know you get a lot of splashback. If you're having a wet season, you get a lot of slugs and yucky things in your lettuce. So this takes all of that away. Absolutely love the green stalk. We've been eating on this lettuce. It's been going so good for us. So give this a try if you don't have a lot of space, but you still want to grow your own food. Here in the upper part of my garden, I have some unique things that I'm kind of growing in. This is my first season doing this, but it provided some extra raised bed opportunities for me. That is these feed barrels. I've got a friend that has cattle. It's actually who we get our beef from, and I said, hey, what are you doing with all these feed barrels that you get? And she said, I grow in them, but I'll give you some if you want. I said, absolutely. Only thing we had to do, wash them out real good, drill some holes in them, and I've got a tomato plant in each one to give my tomatoes some good space, kind of their own perfect soil environment. Just like the raised beds, these can be a little bit expensive to fill because they are kind of larger. But what I did on the bottom was I chopped up some sticks, twigs, put some leaves down in it, and then filled with my soil. So that way it wasn't so cost heavy, but everything in them is compostable. They've got good drainage holes, so I don't have to worry about them getting oversaturated. However, I do have to monitor the watering for them. So these are working great. I've got some more raised beds behind me and in front of me. Same thing with those. We put those in this year, and to fill them to save money on the soil, we filled them up with like sticks and leaves in the bottom and then the soil on top just to take away some of that bulk. But that's not the only way I'm growing. I'm also growing in ground. Here's a bunch of my pepper plants that I have, different varieties. I do have some stakes there to give them some extra support. I've got some different kinds of grow bags down here. I've got some flowers in the ground, definitely stuff that's going to come back every year like yarrow. I've got my chamomile in the ground, an eggplant, some sunflowers. I need to thin those. And then I've got 4 rows of corn, 2 rows of okra, and 2 different rows of pole beans. The growing in ground is also not always ergonomical if it hurts your back or you can't be out there working the land, bending over to weed, those kind of things. A raised bed might be a better option for you. But I like growing in the ground, especially for things like corn, okra, green beans that I'm going to grow a lot of. I don't want to take up all my raised beds doing that. So that's why I just come out here and put it in the ground. Now you are going to have more pest pressure, and you're going to have to kind of know what your soil is, but you can get your soil tested. Hopefully it's good soil up where you live. If not, then you can have it amended as well. But those are the different ways I'm growing here. So we've got in-ground growing, we've got raised beds, we've got garden bags, I've got containers. I've got a friend that took an old cooler, drilled holes in the bottom of it. She grows in that. I've seen people grow in buckets. I've seen people grow in all different kinds of stuff. So do not let space or supplies or anything limit you. Get creative. Get out there and grow something. Another area that I love to grow in ground thing that I love to grow in ground for are my strawberry plants. Mine go crazy. I mow them down in the fall. I've done a video on this. They throw out runners. I dig them up, share them with friends. But these things come back every year. So once they're established, I really don't have a lot to do with them. They're the easiest thing I grow, honestly. Behind my strawberry plants, you can probably see these little asparagus ferns. Those are only in their first couple years, so we're not picking them yet. But that's another perennial, something that's going to come back every year that probably would be better off just in ground. I know some people do these things in raised beds. It's just whatever works for you. For me, I've got the space, so I like to do these items in ground. So that's how it's growing around here. We've got raised beds, bags, in ground. I've got upcycled items that I'm planting in. I've got the green stalk. There's so many different options when it comes to gardening. I just want to encourage everyone to start a garden, whether it's a single tomato plant and a planter on your back porch. You can do it. Gardening is so good for you. It's good for your mind, your body, your soul, and the food tastes better. There's nothing like it. So I'd love to know how it's growing with you. Like, share, and comment down below. What are you growing? What's some unique items that you've chosen to grow food in, or some ways that you've seen people grow food? Thanks for stopping along today, and I hope you have a blessed week.